Hey everybody, so I thought I would redo this video. The screen size that I selected was a little too small, so I'm just going to run through everything. I'm going to do a little bit more detail and go a little slower, and hopefully we get this figured out. So this is Loopback, and Loopback is a audio, basically an audio gathering engine. It pulls in audio from basically any source that can come into your computer and allows you to record it. Now you do need a DAW, so Logic, Pro Tools, Adobe Audition, Cubase, Digital Performer, any DAW that you can record into is going to benefit from this. So I'm going to show you how this is set up. So in this first window up here, you have this little plus sign that populates everything connected and installed on your computer that will pull audio or will have sound coming through it. So in this first section you have software. In this bottom section you have hardware, so outboard gear, just hardware. So I've already added FaceTime, my PreSonus Studio 192 mobile, and Skype and Spotify, and it'll tell you right here the type of device it's using, if it's a outboard or if it's a hardware or if it's an application. It'll populate the left and right side in stereo, so if you want to add just the left or just the right, you can do that. When you're setting this up, make sure that this is checked, so the mute audio sources, that way you're not getting bleed over to one track. There's a lot of areas that can will allow you, or it'll kind of throw audio onto different tracks, and you don't want that happening, because for this application we're really trying to get each one of these programs on its own track. So like if you're recording for a podcast, you want all of these to be individual tracks so that you can edit them a little bit easier later on. So this monitoring audio through the PreSonus, now that your particular audio interface will pop up here, so don't worry about that. But you can choose any one of these, as long as you highly recommend getting headphones. That way you can listen to what's coming through, and you can listen to what's being recorded without having to worry about multiple tracks recording the same thing. When you first start up the program as well, this channel mapping is selected to automatic, and that's fine, except for you'll have everything coming through your stereo left and right in one channel. So, and we don't want to do that. We want to separate everything into single audio channels. So I've selected manual here. So on my first stereo signal, I have mono 1, mono 2. So this is left and right. So I've got a stereo signal here, and this is my PreSonus setup. I have Skype on channels 3 and 4, or stereo 2. I have Spotify on mono 5.6 or stereo 3. I have FaceTime on mono 7.8 or stereo 4. And then that'll make a little bit more sense when I open up Logic. So I want to show you in your preferences. I'm not sure exactly where this is on Windows. I've been using a Mac for so long. But if you go to your sound settings, your output needs to be set to whatever speakers you're using or audio interface you're using, to the master audio or whatever you decide to name this. Because if it's coming in through the 192, then you're just bypassing the loopback engine altogether, and it won't record anything. Conversely, if you're going out through loopback, it's just pouring everything out through the single stereo channel, and all of your audio will be in one channel, but we need it actually in what do we got here, 4 channels that are condensed into one. So there's that. And then in Skype, you want to make sure that when you go into Skype, you click on Preferences and go over to this Audio Video tab. And microphone, you want the input to be this. I have it set up for master audio, and you don't want to select any of these, because then it will just again bypass the loopback engine, and you want to keep that intact. Same thing with your system settings. You want to make sure that the output is going to your speakers or your audio interface as well. Okay, so up here I keep referring to this as master audio. You can change the name of whatever you want to put in there, whatever you want. That way you can find it a little bit easier. I just have mine as a master audio because everything I do audio wise comes through this interface. I just have it set up like that. It just makes my life a little bit easier, but you can add tons of new devices if you'd like. So you can close this, and it still runs in the background. You don't have to worry about it. So let's open up Logic. It'll ask you, it'll monitor what inputs are coming through. So if we only have 4 stereo signals coming into Logic, so it's not going to read any more than that. It doesn't need to. So then it has 8 mono signals. So we're going to go ahead and set up this first one. Now this first one I created is the PreSonus audio track, and so connected to my PreSonus audio is my microphone. So this would be the host track. Okay. And so then I'm going to add another one. And this is going to be the Skype track. So this is 3 and 4 for Skype. And then we're also going to do the Spotify, just so we can show 3 different tracks being recorded at the same time. All right. So we have that set up. And if you're trying to figure out if you have it set up correctly, just open up your Loopback window and kind of scroll through here. We might have to toggle windows. So host is 1 and 2, Skype 3 and 4, Spotify 5 and 6, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so we're good there. The next thing, let's do some recording. So make sure you get all your tracks to record, and then so now you can see that my voice is coming through on track 1, and it's not bleeding over into Skype or Spotify, which is fantastic. So we're going to open up Skype now, and we'll do a test call.
Hello, welcome to Skype call testing service. After the beep, please record a message. Afterwards, your message will be played back to you.
All right, so now you can see that her voice was in Skype channel 2, and my voice is in the host channel number 1. So we're good to go. All right, so now you can see that her voice was in Skype channel 2, and my voice is in the host channel number 1. So we're good to go. All right, see, so that was easy. So, and then you can add as many Skype callers as you well please. Now for the Spotify. So sometimes I use Spotify to use as a reference track when I'm recording or mixing orchestral tracks. I'll listen to something that is kind of in the genre that I'm working on, just so I can get a good mix and feel of where it should be. So I've got this cue from John Williams' Flight to Neverland from Hook, which is a fantastic soundtrack. And you can see it right here. Let it play out a little bit. All right, so you can see that through here, none of this audio is being recorded here or here. It's just my voice and Spotify. This gets really, really handy for when you have a host who is asking a question of somebody and that person kind of steps on the question, or you have a host who's getting ready to ask a question, but the interviewee hasn't really finished saying what they're going to say. You can edit that really easily by just viewing the individual tracks and kind of cutting and pasting and moving around exactly where you need to. So I'm going to stop this, and yeah, if you guys have any other questions or comments, let me know. I'd love to hear them. I hope this screen was big enough for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like me to do more, put a question in there. Tell me what you'd like to see. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.